Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I want to try and keep this one quick today. It was one that I wasn't expecting to make, one that I wasn't hoping to make, but here we are. And unfortunately I have some very bad news. After everything I did and all the way the tests went and everything that looked so great, I ended up having another seizure or syncope event a couple of days ago. So I apologize if I'm kind of lisping. My tongue was pretty badly bitten, so it hurts. And it was a tough one, definitely. It was another morning situation, and I don't know why it happened. We still don't know if it was seizure or if this is a heart-related thing. I do have more heart tests coming up. I've got an echocardiogram is the next thing coming up, and that's still a couple of months away, so we'll see. Maybe they'll move it up now that I've had an event again. I'm also seeing my neurologist today, even though it's only been a couple of days. That's pretty amazing here. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'm hoping and praying that she'll have good news, that she'll be encouraging, and that she won't just start trying to force me onto the MS medications again, because I still don't think that's the answer. And we don't even know if this is seizures or if this is a heart-related problem. So in the meantime, going to the ER, they did put me on Keppra, so I am taking that, and so far I seem to be tolerating it okay. I have no idea if it's going to do anything to help anything, but in the meantime, it's something, and I will talk to my neurologist. She will probably tell me to stay on it. She might even want to increase the dose. We'll see. So it was a pretty awful event. It wasn't, in some ways, not as bad as the first one, because in the first one I was in an upright position and nobody saw me at first, so I was stuck that way without really breathing. So that was a long period of time without oxygen, and so there were some complications with that as well. This time I was standing up and I felt the aura come on, and I was aware. I was stressed out, really stressed out at the time, and I did feel a little weird, and I just thought, okay, just because I am feeling something kind of strange, I should get down. I should call for my husband, and I should just get down on the floor just in case. And it's a good thing I did, because I definitely did pass out immediately after that. I remember when I called out that the sound of my voice, it was like it was echoing through different dimensions or something like that. It was very weird. The very first time I had this, I had a very, very strong, comforting deja vu feeling. I didn't have that this time, but I did feel a little bit of a familiar feeling. So that's probably kind of a bit of overlap with what happened previously. Obviously, I have lots of bumps and bruises. Even though I was down on the ground, I was still flailing around and bumped my head and my hands on my feet and my knees and my elbows, and just generally have bumps and bruises. But the worst thing probably was my neck, because with a seizure or syncope type event like this, your whole face and your neck and your shoulders and everything goes into this really strong tense mode, which is why you bite your tongue. And in doing that, even if it's just for a matter of a minute or two or three, it's so intense that you feel it the next day. It really hurts. And this is 2 days out and I'm still feeling it everywhere. So it definitely takes a while to recover. It also leaves you feeling very out of it, brain foggy, exhausted. I will say, thankfully, the night after this event, I did sleep quite well. In fact, I even slept in, which is a rare thing for me. So count my blessings. That was a good thing that I slept well. And actually last night I didn't sleep too badly either. So that's something. Maybe it's the Keppra, because it makes you tired too, apparently. So that could be a factor, and I guess I'll just, again, have to be thankful that it's doing something good and nothing bad at this point. So I'm not really sure where I go at this point with this, because we don't know what it is, but I do know that different doctors have different goals, and a neurologist is going to look at it and say, this is neurological for sure, and this is what we should do. You should take this medication and this medication and this medication. That's probably what's going to happen again. The doctor who's investigating my heart has suggested beta blockers. previously, prior to this event, and I have no idea if you can take beta blockers with Keppra. So we'll see. Which one do I choose? How do we figure this out? I don't know. I'm just hoping and praying that the echocardiogram that I'm going for in a couple of months will tell us whether it's a heart-related thing or not. If there's anything going on with the heart, I really, really hope it detects it so that we can at least get an idea of where we're going. So this event happened when I was under a great deal of stress. I knew I was in a very negative position at the time. I was feeling terrible and very upset, and that's when it happened. So I think it's fair to assume that it was probably the cause or the trigger of the event. And so now I know when I get really stressed out, I better be careful because it might happen again. I have no idea. I don't know if this medication would stop that from happening, or if I'll just have one again anyway, or if it might even just be like a partial seizure, which would still be really horrible, but at least, not completely passing out. And of course I can't drive again, so now I'm back to HandyDART to get all my medical appointments, and I'm very limited going out to visit anybody, see friends, run errands, anything like that. So I'm not even fully emotionally dealing with that yet. It's pretty awful and frustrating, but I'm so kind of out of it still that I'm not fully even dealing with the emotion of having my driver's license removed again. It's pretty awful. Don't get me wrong. I don't ever want to have a seizure driving, ever. That is the worst case scenario pretty much. So, I'm not willing to rebel against that or anything. I understand why I can't have one. But at the same time, it does really dramatically affect your quality of life. Probably for me, not as much as a lot of other people, because living with chronic fatigue means that I don't go out as much as most people do anyway. And I need to sleep a lot more than other people. I need to rest more. I need to be home more. I have a lot of days where I'm just not well enough to do anything. So in some ways, yeah, it's not as bad for me as it might be for some people. But it's still pretty awful. So I really didn't want to make this video. I even really seriously thought about just getting rid of my channel completely and just saying, well, that's it, I'm done, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But then I started thinking, well, maybe I should document it, at very least for myself, so that I can look back and say, oh yeah, that's right, I went through that. Yeah, okay, yeah, I had that problem. Oh, I remember how swollen my tongue felt, or how bad my foot felt, or whatever, And the weird feeling of the aura itself is something that I would think I could probably forget, because there are things that have happened through the course of the last 2 days that I remember when I know now, or I'm reminded of it now, but after it happened, I forgot that it happened. It was like it wasn't there anymore, and I needed to be reminded of it. Otherwise, it probably would have left my head forever. And that's kind of how it works with the way that it affects your brain, is that you're so foggy that details they're not there anymore. And one of the things they ask you in the ambulance, one of the first things they ask you is, do you know what day it is? Do you know what season it is? That kind of thing. And both times I could not answer that question. I had no idea what day it was. I do know the second time, a couple days ago, I couldn't remember what day it was initially, but it did come to me fairly quickly afterwards. So this one didn't affect my brain as badly as the other one. And also I didn't feel as stressed out when I left the hospital, or even when I was in the hospital, because I'd already kind of been through this. So it was familiar. It wasn't as terrifying as the first time. The first time I had no clue what was happening. And because I had been unconscious for so long, and probably not really breathing that whole time, I think that did do some damage to my brain. So I had issues. I also know that after the previous one, which was 9 months ago, I did have quite a few moments of deja vu that continued to happen. I didn't, again, have a seizure after that, but there was a lot of deja vu, especially in the evening, especially when I was extra tired, which was pretty much every evening. And so that was scary, and my neurologist was very upset about that. She didn't think that that was good, and she felt that I really needed to be on medication, several medications for that. So I kind of, I didn't take anything, and I waited it out and tried to get sleep, tried to just help myself as best I could. And those incidents did start to spread out more and more, to a point where I haven't had one in quite a while now. So now, deja vu is still, I think I've mentioned before, something that even though I am well into my 40s, I do get deja vu periodically when I'm really tired anyway. I know that's not super common for my age, but it does happen. And I think that's because I am dealing with so much chronic fatigue and chronic insomnia. You put those two together, your brain's going to do some weird things. So I'm not ready to just say, oh, well, that was just a regular old-fashioned epileptic seizure. That's for sure what it was. I mean, it might be. I don't know. But I'm not ready to just give in and say that for sure is what it is. Because if it's anything else, then that should be dealt with. And I don't want to spend 5, 10 plus years on the wrong medication that's not helping me for the wrong condition. I know too many people have that for MS. Sometimes they have Lyme, or a number of other things that it could be. So there are a lot of conditions like that, where you can get misdiagnosed with one thing and then find out many years later that it was actually something else, and you've been taking this awful medication for all this time and it hasn't been helping you because you didn't have the problem they said you had. So I'm a bit of a pain for the medical system, because I want answers and I want to take care of my health. I'm not just a close my eyes, give me whatever you want to give me and I'll just take it and I'll be quiet kind of person. I used to be, but I'm not anymore, because I've had enough. I've been abused enough by neglect and negligence and ignorance and a variety of other problems in the medical system. I'm sick of it. I'm not ready to just take that. It's not personal against any of the medical people I'm dealing with. It's just life. It's my body. And they might care to some degree, but not to the degree I do, because I'm the one who has to live here. So I'm going to keep on fighting for myself and see what I can do. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can do some updates soon and let you know that if I get any test results at all, or answers, or maybe no test results, maybe no test answering anything in itself could be an answer. I don't know at this point, but if you're curious to find out what may have caused this, where we're going, and maybe this is helpful to you, then please do feel free to subscribe, and take care, and God bless.